Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it is me again, Insane Gorilla, and welcome back to my channel. This is What If Deku was... Well, I have been thinking about this, so please let me know what you think about the title. This is What If Deku was a... Oh, what was it called? Hang on. Sorry about that, brain fart. What if Deku, there we go, was a werewolf hunter? Now, quick backstory. When the story starts, Deku is already going to be 16 years of age. And if it sounds like it's too early for him to be a werewolf hunter, my story, I can tell what I want to tell. Deku is... Obviously Deku, he is nerdy. Or he was nerdy until he hit 6 years old, where a beast ripped through his family. He did have a mother. She was obviously Inko Midoriya. A father, Masashi, and a little sister, Izumi. But Izumi was taken by the beast. She cried for her brother to help her, but Izuku was too terrified and scared. But he vowed on that day to get stronger. Minsky would try to adopt Izuku, but someone ended up adopting him first. Now you may be saying, how the hell did Izuku get adopted so quickly? Easy. A friend of Izuku's dad, who had been secretly watching over the family for a long time, had seen the werewolf, a beast that had taken Izumi, and he had brought him into an order called the Order of the Night. Now, you may be saying, oh, so they're obviously hunting down werewolves. It's not only werewolves. You see, in the world, there is something that even the Hero Safety Commission does not know about. There are also supernatural beings, otherworldly entities that often pop up in the world, and the Hunters, a secret organization that could be classed as villains, but only a few high-ranking heroes who have stumbled upon their operations understand their true motives and their true goals, such as All Might, Nezu. Basically, the top 10 heroes of every country know about the Hunter organization. The top 10, or even top 3, considering of Japan, know about the organization. Nezu knows about it because he's secretly one of these hunters himself. But he's a mouse, so he can't actually do any of the hunting, but he can pick out certain people who could be transferred over to a secret program, hidden underneath the Hero Safety Commission's noses, to be trained as supernatural hunters. Shit, nearly dropped the phone. And Izuku was already taken in by a man called Raiju. Raiju trained Deku until he was 16. Which leads me to the actual story itself, where we start the story. In an abandoned area of Japan, two people would be walking. Now, it wouldn't seem too unusual. People usually walk around sometime during the afternoon, but not around about 10 at night. In an abandoned area, as if they are skulking around like misbehaving children. That is until they both unnervingly jump over a fence like it was yesterday's, newspaper, and land with such a thud that you would have sworn you heard somebody drop a tire from a very big height. And both of them are walking into the abandoned church, which is the only abandoned building in the area. But a few blocks away, keeping an eye on them, were a group of, 10 figures, all checking weapons and loading. One of them just simply signs saying, "Helmets on." All of them put their helmets on, including a boy with a mohawk with green hair. Freckles on his face, but his eyes show nothing but hatred. He puts on his helmet, grabs the shotgun, and cocks it with one hand. The sound pretty much letting everybody know he's ready to blow off the heads of some monsters. Their obvious captain puts 2 fingers forward. This is to say, move out. All 8 split off. 4 go in one direction, the other 4 go straight ahead. Deku's with the squad that split off as they go around the backside of the abandoned church. They have silencers ready because they don't particularly want to alert the authorities that something is going on. And as they walk, Izuku pulls out a pistol, he aims, and fires it right into the skull of a werewolf that was just about to pounce on his captain. The werewolf drops dead before it can even pounce and howl a warning. The body thuds to the floor as everybody keeps on moving, not even bothering about the dead corpse. As this leader puts up one hand in a fist, saying hold, the person puts his back against the wall, slides down, holds out a small piece of shattered glass. Check around the corner. He or she sees 2 individuals. They seem like they're the perfect couple, having a midnight dancing of tongues. He or she puts up 2 fingers, 2 hostiles. Basically puts 2 fingers together, indicate kissing. Deku pretty much is ready as he pulls out a pistol again. His boss, or captain, holds the rifle. Both of them sneak around the corner. Both aim. Ping, poom. Both werewolves fall down dead. They quickly drag the bodies away before any blood is freely pouring out. They pick up the shell casings and they pretty much start slowly walking towards the front door, the back door. Once they get there, the captain of the squad or the group that split away, reports to the front saying that they are in the back, at the back door. Somebody says a sarcastic joke about going in through the back door, only for the captain of this small group to glare at the one who did it, or said that sarcastic joke. Deku just walks up, plants a breaching charge on the door. His superior shook his head at Deku's clear impatience of getting in there and just killing them. They aim their weapons. Their commanding officer puts 3 fingers. 3, 2, 1. He clenches his fist and moves his arm down. As the breaching charge goes off, just as the second one at the front door goes off at the same time. Deku, along with his squad, run in. Werewolves, completely disoriented by the 2 explosions, Deku and his squad start firing. Deku, shotgun, just the guns just firing in every which way. Werewolves try to scatter. Some pick up seats and throw them at the intruders, only for someone just to come along and bat them out the way each and every time. One of the werewolves says in a gruff voice, "Quirk users," before having its head blown off, courtesy of a sniper rifle that was silenced, blowing his brain matter out. In a good 10 to 20 minutes, every single werewolf is dead. And the only people standing are all these guys. This is, by the way, Deku in this armor. Deku picks up the shotgun shells. He starts putting them back in one of the little straps. His boss picks up the shell casings, along with his companions who do the same. The captain just walk up and say gruffly, "Good job. Let's get out of here. We made a lot of noise and the heroes will be on their way." They quickly go and grab the bodies that were left outside and chuck them in. Deku pours a lot of gasoline over them, throws the gas canister onto the pile, before setting off a match and making the church burn. All in all, it was a good hunt. At least Deku would think it was a good hunt. They go back to a safe house. So pretty much wait for light, or for daytime. And when daytime happens, Izuku would pretty much be the first one to walk out, as he goes to Aldera High. Same place Bakugo goes to, but him and Bakugo don't see eye to eye at all. Bakugo's still that bully, but he's only a bully because he wants to get a rise out of Deku. Ever since his parents were killed and he was adopted, Bakugo just seemed like happy-go-lucky child he used to know as a child himself. Go into this stern, doesn't talk to anybody, doesn't even remotely respond to anybody pulling the piss. And whenever somebody tries to fight him, he brutalizes them. He does not leave any mercy. You pick a fight, you're going to be tasting dirt. And so, Deku has the reputation of being strong, silent type. Strict and stern, he will never, ever show emotion. And Bakugo tries to piss him off just to try and get his friend back they had since childhood. The way he does it? Bullying. Not the best way to get your friend back, but hey, Bakugo's doing Bakugo. And of course, everybody just goes through the whole spiel about this is your last day in high school. I all know Well, and it's time to do your career aptitude tests. But fuck it, I know you all want to go to the hero track. Everybody uses their quirks, apart from Izuku and Bakugo. Of course, Bakugo puts his feet up and says, "Hey Teach, don't bum me in with these bunch of losers. They'll be lucky to get a D-list hero." The whole spiel about how Bakugo's got really good scores and he can actually get into UA. Of course, some students say, but hasn't UA got like a 2% entry rate? Yeah, they like only take the cream of the crop. And of course, Bakugo says his whole spiel about, yeah, and that's why it's worthy of me. Because I'm going to be the next number one. Izuku, once dreaming of being number one, just scoffs and says, yeah, like heroes could ever help somebody when they actually truly fucking need it. And of course, everybody looks at Midoriya, glaring at him. Midoriya glares at them back. A silent gesture of, you want to have a go? The people back off because they don't want to deal with the smoke, which is Izuku Midoriya when he's pissed. Of course, Bakugo just says, rah-de-rah-de-rah, heroes are actually a lot better than what you do, you shitty nerd. Izuku just scoffs and says, leave it to the Pomeranian who doesn't know how to read. Of course, this pisses off Bakugo. The teacher does calm him down. He says, Bakugo, if you attack, you will be put in detention. And Midoriya, please do not antagonize any of your classmates. Izuku just scoffs, whatever. Day goes by. Izuku walks out. He goes underneath the tunnel. And he puts his hand into one of his pockets. Just as he hears something coming out from the sewers, he puts his hand behind his back as he sees a sludge villain. Of course, the sludge villain attacks him. Izuku pulls the pin out of something and shoves it into the guy's mouth. Of course, pulling his hand back. The sludge villain, being so surprised, he actually forgets that he can just, spit it out himself. As the grenade pretty much goes boom inside him. The explosion is big enough to make the watery substance of his body pretty much contain the shockwave. Now his brain is still there. It's just liquefied, just like the rest of him. So as the grenade goes off, the shockwave scrambles his brain too much. The sludge villain slowly turns back into its human shape. A man with curly brown hair and, formerly chocolate brown eyes, just falls to the ground, blood pouring out of his nostrils, his ears, his mouth, and his eyeballs, just falls to the ground dead. Like, there's no cap, he is not getting up from that. Izuku just turns around and walks away. Of course, then he hears, I am here! From Mr. Late as always, All Might. Izuku looks at him and just growls. Fucking heroes. So he just walk away. All Might was stunned. Sure, he's had some disgruntled people before, but hearing a child just say effing heroes, as if heroes are nothing but trash? All Might does appear in front of him, saying, Aha! Please, young man, do not be angry at me. I have been trying to track this villain for days. Hey! All Might says as his voice just dies down. Izuku just walks around him. And of course, when All Might puts his hand on him, the boy turns around, swinging his bag. All Might catches it, only to end up having a foot impact him in the groin. All Might maybe a mountain of muscle, but everybody knows the nuts is the nuts. No amount of being strong is going to protect you from a ball buster. And All Might just received one hell of a kick. So All Might had literally gone cross-eyed as he falls forward, face planting the floor, crying because his nuts were just attacked. Izuku just spits away from All Might, saying, "Fucking useless heroes." He walks away only to hear a pop. He looks around to see a very skinny man. Now, Izuku knew that All Might had a weak form because he found out about the 5 year ago fight between him and AFO. So, looking at All Might, he kind of just says, loud enough for All Might to hear, even though he's crying on the floor because of his nuts. Izuku kneels down in front of him with a cold look that holds a bit of disbelief. You know, when I heard about your small might form, I honestly thought that my superiors were just joking about it. But seeing it for myself, you're just sad. Izuku just stands up after that comment and walks off, completely understanding why people called him a joke when he's not in All Might form. Of course, Toshinori Yagi, hearing this, kind of made him sad. Like, come on, you just get kicked in the nuts by the guy, and all of a sudden he calls you sad because you're lying on the ground crying about it. But hey, what's he gonna do about it? Izuku walks into an apartment building. He pretty much just throws his bag into a room, lies down, and, well, just about to put on the TV until he just says, "You know, Captain, sneaking into my bedroom is never a good thing, right?" As a girl would walk out of his bedroom, her silver hair and grey eyes, that might indicate her being blind, but she's not, would just walk out in nothing but a towel, her hair done up, as there's a little droplets of water running down her arms and her chest, her legs, and her face. As she looks at him smack in the face, saying, "It's not my fault that your shower is actually a lot better than my one." Zuko scoffs. You ever heard of not clogging the... Sorry about that, I had a lot of dead skin that I needed to remove from my thumb. So, ever heard of not clogging up your bathroom toilet with a 10-ton of toilet roll? She looked at him with a glare. That was just the once, okay? And that's when I was throwing up constantly from having a hangover. Zuko just rolls his eyes. Yeah, whatever you say, Captain. Zuko just closed his eyes, as his captain would just roll her eyes, before walking up to him and basically dumping her crutch on his, making Zuko wince at her sudden declaration of where her seat is. "Captain, this is not really appropriate." "Shut up, you're my new pillow," she'd say as she'd pull his phone out of his pocket and start flipping through social media. "Hard to believe you and I are the same age. And I made captain before you." She continued flicking through, social media, while still using Izuku's crutch as a soft pillow. She even wiggles her butt a bit to get even more comfortable, although Izuku believes that she's just doing this to try and get a little bit of a reaction out of him, aka trying to get his little man to be less little. And she just sighs and says, "How boring. Nothing truly on, other than a man who is skinnier than anything else in an alleyway crying about his nuts being violated by a young man who he was just trying to help." That sounds like somebody doing his job as I know him to do. Should look directly at Izuku from the corner of her eye, who just scoffed. "You and I both know who that is, Captain. That's Luna to you. Captain Luna." "I'm sorry, Captain Sit on My Crutch. Don't make me start bouncing. Especially where your nuts are." "Fine, what do you want me to say? Yes, I kicked All Might in the nuts?" "That's better. So, how did it feel kicking your former idol in the nuts?" "Don't get me started on kicking him in the nuts. I wanted to do more than kick him in the nuts." "You're still pissed?" "I'm pissed off that the number one hero is actually my father. My biological father. I thought Hisashi was my dad. No, turns out All Might is." "You mean, what the fuck am I meant to do, Luna?" "Say hello for once. Well, say hello for one. And say, 'Hey Dad, you remember your son that you hadn't seen for 10 years now?' You know that All Might knows about us. He was most probably trying to talk to you, trying to get to know his son. And you go along and kick him in the balls. Bastard deserves it. My mother deserved to be protected more than Hisashi did. After all, Hisashi was just a regular individual, a scientist. He also knew about us, Izuku. You forget. He was a scientist, but also a hero." "Here, fucking useless one. Izuku, you didn't know." "Yeah, like everybody else." "You're not gonna let this go, are you?" "No, of course I'm not." "Oh well." Luna then levels herself out on Izuku entirely, giving him a very good view of her in-between breasts, or the valley of her breast. "Captain, you know I hate it when you're naked, and you're always cuddling me." "Well, for starters, I'm trying to get a little bit of a reaction out of you, more than just that Mr. Grumpy face that you constantly hold," Luna says, as she pretty much draws some circles on his chest before poking him in the cheek and looking at him like a woman had just had her puppy kicked. Izuku knows those eyes, and he knows what she's going to ask him. "No. Please? No. Please? No. Please? No. Please? No. Please? Yes. No. Yes. No. Seriously, did we just..." "Yes, we did. Now go and make me food." Ugh. Izuku would just sigh and get up, or try to, if Luna wasn't holding him down. "Luna, and I'm not talking about that kind of food." Izuku just face palms and just says, lowly enough for him to hear, or, well, he hopes, "What is it with her and being so fucking horny around me? Maybe because you're just too damn cute and I want to get that useless bloody scowl off your face. I swear, sometimes your hearing is a bit too sharp. Only when it attends to me. Now, are you going to let me get my food, or you are not going downstairs to get me?" "Oh, really?" Luna goes to try and grab in between his legs, only for Izuku to roll her off of him as she lands face first on the floor. He gets up and puts his foot in between her cheeks as she says, "Okay, please don't do that again. I know how bad that actually hurts me, so please don't do it." "Sorry, do what?" As he starts moving his foot in between her cheeks, really causing her some pain. She yelps, saying, "Okay, okay, 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 sorry, sorry, sorry. I won't do it again. I won't do it again." She really starts begging him to not do it, because it really is starting to hurt. Eventually, Izuku just pushes her to the side with his foot. Luna puts her hands behind her ass, as she feels like she had just been violated. Again. She looks at him with the puppy eyes, saying, "That hurts." Izuku just scoffs. "Good." Luna just pouts and says, "You could be a bit nice to your captain." "I'll be nice to you once you stop clogging your bathroom with toilet roll." She just pouts, so it's not my fault that I have the runny shits. "Sometimes. Captain, you do this like twice a week. Everybody thinks you've got a problem just having things not blocked. So that's their problem. And besides, I heard you went with squad 5 this time." "Come on, squad 1 needs you more than squad 5. Squad 5 had a missing member, remember? She went missing 2 weeks ago." "Izuku, you do realize she went missing because she was pregnant, right? She literally just gave birth 2 weeks ago. Or 2 days ago. She should be back any time now. She needs time to be with her baby." "And what's the organization's rules about pregnant women? They leave just to raise the child. Unless they are super dedicated. And she is. She is a mother, yes, but she's also super, super dedicated to the cause of eliminating all supernatural beings who come into our world. And besides, it's not like you can do any different." "Whatever, Captain. Besides, I still want to know, why do you hate werewolves so much? I know that they most probably hurt you in some way. The werewolves killed my adoptive father, my mother, and kidnapped my sister." "Oh. Yeah. Oh. She's a year older than I am. She was 7. I was 6. I'm sorry to hear that." "Whatever. Just please, do not bring this up. Ever. I hate thinking about what happened to my sister." "Oh, if you want anybody to talk to, I'm here." "I know, and so's your hand ready to try and grab hold of my crutch whenever I'm not looking." Luna just shrugs. She gets up and pretty much walks to the kitchen. Although when she walks, she sways her hips, trying to get Izuku to at least react to a little bit of flirtation. Izuku just rolls his eyes. 1 minute. Back at the abandoned church that had been freshly burnt down, people had cornered it off. But this is all at night time, so nobody's looking at it anymore. 2 figures would cut through the wire, or the tape that was covering the crime scene. As one figure was clearly that of a beast, as it sniffed the air like a rabid animal. But the other was clearly of human origins. "How disgusting. Hunters definitely did this," the female figure would say. Her voice was extremely smooth and very alluring in its port of call and tone. It's definitely something, the werewolf would say, as it would shrink into a female form too, although the barely covered chest and lower areas covered by fur would indicate the naked nature of this werewolf. What do you mean, Elle? Elle would kneel down. It's quite simple. Hunters did this. Quick, smooth, clean. This was most probably Team 5. At least it's not Team 1. We wouldn't even find any evidence of they were here. Team 5's usually a little bit more lax and a little bit more accidental in leaving evidence behind. Jerry can, for one, clearly exploded. Not that the explosions from the breaching charges didn't cause enough problems. The other female would walk up to the jerry can, kneel down and pick it up. Gasoline. I don't need a sensitive nose to smell that. Somebody clearly wanted this place to burn and burn quickly. Yeah, Elle would say, agreeing with her companion. It's quite a lot around here, but mainly on the center where the corpses were. No identification, no nothing. The hunters are thorough. And unfortunately, the fire burned for hours, so the corpses were nothing but charred remains. Wouldn't even get an ounce of flesh out of it. Nothing but ash. Well, we can't say the hunters aren't anything but thorough to make sure nobody knows about the supernatural world. Elwood looked to her companion. What do you see, Mary? Quite simple. The heroes missed something. Miri bent down and picked up something. A shell casing. Looks like one of the hunters got sloppy. She tossed it to her companion, who'd grab it and sniff it. Somebody likes wearing cologne. Apparently so. Can you track it? Like I would ever be able to track cologne. She tosses it back. Her companion takes it and hides it in between her valley. Of course you would do that, wouldn't you? Hey, I work in the entertainment district. Somebody's got to pay for this booty. Still can't believe that's how you get half of our information. Oh, come on, Al. If you actually put that body to work, you could get more customers. I'm sorry, but if any male tries to touch my rear, I'll go full werewolf on their ass and kill them. I'm more of a work behind the bar lady. You know that. Could have fooled me. Shut up. My, Mira, Luda. The other girl would sigh and stare out at the full moon. You still thinking of him? Yeah, I just wonder what he's doing now. Knowing him, he's most probably doing something completely foolish. You don't even know who I'm talking about. I know, hence why I'm saying it. Let's go. 3 nights later, Zuko would be training and walking through the streets, bored and annoyed. Luna had been nothing but pestering him of late for some dates, because she wanted to be near him at all times. Zuko finally managed to dump her somewhere, but knowing her, she'll swiftly turn up when she's needed. Zuko's walking past the alleyway as he hears a girl screaming. Zuko snaps open his eyes and looks down the alleyway. There's clearly a group of thugs beating the hell out of a girl. Zuko snarled, as he hated people like this. Zuko walked down the alleyway. "Oi, assholes," he'd say, gruff and commanding. "Hey boss, look, a kid." "Go deal with him." "Sure thing." The man would walk up to Zuko, put a knife to his neck. "Back away, kid. You don't want to get yourself killed tonight." Deku doesn't waste time. He grabs the man's arm and all of a sudden yanks it up, snapping it. The man howls out in pain as he clutches his broken arm. "You little shit," he would say, gritting his teeth. "You broke my fucking arm!" Zuko would then roundhouse kick the guy in the face, knocking him out. "The fuck you doing, kid? You don't know who we are? We're the Vipers. The man gets cut off as something hard gets knocked into the back of his skull. As a woman would stand behind him, as another heavy object would smash into the skull of the next guy, hitting him against the wall. "Good grief," the woman would say. "Can't go for an easy walk around here." The woman would walk into the light, revealing brown hair and, brown eyes, with a bust figure that would make any guy die for her. Of course, there's a hooker around here with a baseball bat. "Very funny, asshole. No, I work in the club down the road. I was literally on my way there." "You alright, miss?" Yeah, I'm fine, thanks." "Ow. I did a number on you." Yeah. And thanks, anyway," the girl would say as she quickly bowed to the woman and then bowed to Zuko and run off. Children. Always eager to learn and run away at the slight sense of relief. Yeah, you have experience with that, don't you? I run away from a lot of things, but not a good fuck. She would say as she winks at him. "I'm 16, not legal." It doesn't stop people. And I'm only 17, and I'm already working as a brothel. Well, somewhat of a brothel house. So age isn't everything, sweetheart. So, what brings a somewhat happy, and charming boy like yourself to this neighborhood? It can't be to see the sights or the entertainment," she'd say as she lightly run a hand down her clearly overbearing breasts. Zuko would just roll his eyes, as this woman was clearly trying to slap on, "I want you to come to my room so we can have fun. Sorry, but I don't take offers from strangers." "Oh, so you do things for family? How naughty." Izuku's eyes would twitch. "Yeah, I'm an orphan. I don't have family." "Oh, I'm sorry. Please forgive." Once again, she flirts by bending over enough to allow clear view of the in-between valley. Zuko just looks away, shaking his head, as you just say, "Just watch yourself. You never know what goes bump during the night." The woman would giggle, saying, "Oh, I never stop watching my back. And neither should you, sometimes. You never know what girl might try to take a piece of the action." She'd turn around and walk back into the shadows going to work. Zuko would sigh. Yeah, and I never get why werewolves think I'm stupid. Of course, she doesn't. She does hear him because her werewolf ears had popped up. She freezes, hides them, and quickly runs, knowing that she had just pretty much made a big no-no. She revealed herself to a hunter. Now, this was bad. This was very bad. It looked like he had just been recently training, which means they could be encroaching on an operation nearby. But somebody else was watching them. A man with red eyes and fangs. As he was hiding. Shit. The man would hang upside down like a bat. And here I thought I was actually about to get caught. Sheesh. The man flips and lands. It's the same girl that they had, Zuko and that woman had saved, walks around the corner. Sorry, master. No, it's alright. And what have I told you, Udaraka, for calling me master? I'm not your master. I'm your friend. Yes, I know, master, but... Stop it. Sorry. Sorry, Jake. But you know that I can't help calling you that. I know, your family's been serving the vampires for so long. But please, stop calling me master. I've always seen you as a little sister. Thanks. For everything. Although I did wish you did jump in and helped. I was about to until the werewolf and the hunter turned up. That cute green-haired boy? Yeah. You wouldn't guess him to be a hunter, would you? Wait, he was a hunter? I thought he was the werewolf. Nope, the busty brunette was the werewolf. You mean that giant cow with her big boobs? Don't let a werewolf female catch you saying that about them. You gotta be joking me. How can werewolves like her have massive tits? That is completely unfair. It can't be worse than a few female vampires who don't have anything there to begin with, and they are screaming that they can't even get their tits to grow out, while other vampire females seem to manage to get their boobs out. Reminds me of that Sindri girl. Yes, still acting like a child. She is one. She's just trapped in an adult body. True. Oh, come on then. Let's see if we can get out of here before any more hunters turn up. Sure thing, Jake. Hold on. Oh, not again. Both of them vanish in a flock of bats. Zuko would still be walking down the walkway, completely unaware of the vampire conversation, because he was nowhere near them when they had it. Zuko got back to his apartment, opened the door, and heard snoring. He looked into his bedroom, and there was Luna, pretty much huddled into a ball, snoring on his bed, with the letter of "Sleep with me" pretty much floating over the door with some sticky tape. And the word "sleep with me" was badly written. Zuko just walks to the couch, grabs a blanket, lies down, puts the blanket over himself, and falls asleep. But when he wakes up in the morning, Luna had pretty much planted herself on top of him, sleeping. Zuko is starting to have even more of an eye twitch as he rolls her off, saying, "Get off." But he gets pulled off with her as she had her arms and legs wrapped around him. So when they both hit the floor, Izuku went forward as her head came up. Their lips locked, her eyes opened, and she pushed herself into his kiss, while Izuku was trying to pull himself back. Once Luna had finally let him go, he pretty much pulled away and started rubbing at his mouth, spitting out any disgustingness from Luna, who'd kind of be pouting, saddened that Izuku didn't enjoy her kiss, as he just growls and says, "Why the hell are you in my room again?" Luna just looks at him, says, "Because I'm bored. We haven't been given any more orders yet. And I'm bored. I want to spend time with the man I want to be with. Why can't you go and bother someone else? Because none of them are you." Should say, giving him the look that just says, "Just finally agree to go out with me." Izuku says, "N-O spells no, Luna. Get this through your skull." Luna then gets pissed and screams, "Izuku Midoriya, I have been basically showing you every single sign that I am interested. If you're not showing signs of interest, does that mean you're gay?" Izuku would snarl, saying, "I am not gay, I just won't go out with you." "Why?" Luna would say, getting agitated because she had literally been showing the signs saying, "Hello, Izuku, notice me." Izuku would just say, "Because I'm not interested in you. You're my captain. I will not be going out with my captain. It is unprofessional." Izuku, you do realize that there are 20 people in our organization who have families with each other. It's not exactly frowned upon. You're my captain. And if I wasn't your captain, would you? No, because you're still a captain. You're still one of my comrades, even if you weren't a captain. You're unbelievable. You really are unbelievable. Can't you see when a girl is clearly showing you signs that she wants to be with you? I can see that, Luna. I just don't want to be with you." Luna just throws her arms up in the air. "For goodness sake, can't you see that I'm not going to leave until I finally have you? Izuku, I'm fully in love with you. I have been ever since we were in basic training together. I have always shown interest in you. I have always shown that I've loved you. Hell, last time you were injured, I stayed beside your bedside. I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, I didn't shower." Oh, that'll be the reason why you stunk that day. Fuck off. "Zuko, I literally stayed beside your bedside. Hell, I even warmed it with you. Just to show I am interested in you and I want you to notice me. I'm a girl with her own needs, okay? And what I want is a man in my life. A man who I know, who I trust, and who I full out fucking love. Zuko, I've even shown you my naked body. Although, fair be it, that was completely on accident, but I did not once shun you away in embarrassment. I wanted you to drink in my body. I wanted you to drink in my form, my curves, my chest, my admittedly not shaven under area, but I need to shave that, so don't comment. I've showed you everything. Every taunt of my curves, every strip, every inch. Hell, I even allowed you to play with my upper areas quite a bit. I allowed you to do that because I was interested. I had dropped sign after sign after sign. Yes, you're not interested in me, but I will never stop giving up on you. Just please understand that I want you to be my boyfriend. I am so interested in you. No other guy interests me like you. This is completely unreasonable. The only thing that's unreasonable is you, Izuku. I show you interest. I show you that I love you. And you don't react. You don't say anything. You don't make a move. You're my captain. I want to be more than just your captain. I want to be yours, particularly. I want to be yours, and it's in not your captain, not your friend, but your girlfriend. The girl you can come to cry with, to laugh with, to be happy with, to make happy memories with. I want you to be mine, just like I want to be yours. Can't you just accept that? Can't you accept when... For goodness sake, Izuku, I am literally throwing myself at you all the time. Show a bit of interest. You know what? No, fine. Luna gets up. She looks at him with tears in her eye. Just forget it. Luna gets dressed, slams the door. Mizuku just sighs. He knows he's hurt her, but he just never sees her in that way. He looks up, sighs, then looks at a picture of his mother and in his words, his actual father, Inko and Asashi. Mum, Dad, what do I do? As if the images could give him, or the image could give him the answers he seeks. In her apartment, Luna is in her bed, crying. She can't believe she just emptied all of her feelings out for Izuku, and he looked at her blankly, like he truly didn't care. She was heartbroken. She couldn't believe it. All her hard work, all of her proving herself, showing herself off to him, making him look at her, stare at her, touch her. She did it all to try and get him to notice her, to finally get it through his skull that she just wants to be with him because she loves him. She deeply loves him and she would do anything for him. Hell, if she could resurrect his sister or resurrect his parents just to prove her love for him, she would. But now she doesn't know what to do. She feels alone. She feels like she's unloved by the man she wants to be with. She just cries. Izuku upstairs, approximately by 2 levels, just sighs as he's been staring at the image of his parents, wanting them to just give him a sign, show him that they are on his side and they just want what is best for him. Izuku just shakes his head. I can't be with her. I can't be with anyone. Because if I get involved with someone, they'll come and kill them. Just like they did you, Mum, Dad. And if Azumi's still alive, if she's still alive, I have to find her and bring her back. Not those animals. Kill her or do anything else to her. Not in 1,000 bloody years. Zuko sighs, turns around. If he'd paid attention, he would have seen his mother's face go saddened as a tear would roll down her eye, along with his quote-unquote farmers. As both of them in the image hug each other, as both of them were just whispering, we want him to see her, to notice her. As the two images come to life more, they step out, showing their true forms of ghostly apparitions, supernatural creatures that only do what is best for the people that are hurting the most. Izuku is hurting. They both know Izumi is out there, but it's time for them to get involved fully this time. They float over to Izuku's room. They see him already ready for bed. Izuku. The apparition of Asashi would say. Izuku would turn around and see his parents. Oh, Dad. We're not alive, Izuku. We're dead. We're just apparitions. Ones that only come to people who truly need guidance. They both float over to him. And they float in front of him like they're sitting on invisible chairs. Izuku, Inko would say. Son, Musashi would say. Izuku would sit down and let them talk to him. Another day later, though, they would be called in for a mission. Izuku would be part of Team 1 again. He'd be checking over his weapons, loading them with lethal efficiency as usual. Seriously? Ghouls this time? I wonder what the vampires did to make ghouls this time around. Izuku grabs a few stakes, just in case there's a few vampires that need to have the nail put to them. One of his other squad mates would shrug. Hell if I know. Only reason why these ghouls are around is because they failed to become vampires. Now we'll put a box down, grabbing another weapon. The only way to kill them is with an axe. Or, well, a weapon with silver. Yeah, I know. I got silver bullets. Although the silver bullets are going to be for the ghouls. While the silver weapons are going to be for the vampires, because those bastards get up right close and proper. Tell me about it. Here, take the battle axe. Ah, cheers, dude. The man would grab the battle axe, put it on his shoulder. Yeah, run him out of heft. Everybody would be ready. Luna wouldn't even be looking at Deku. She would just be silent. It's clear that something had happened between Deku and Luna. One of the female squad members would lean over to her companion. Do you think those two have gotten into an argument again? Most probably, both of them would whisper. The entire squad knew that Luna had this unending and almost puppy-like crush for Izuku. If she... Well, you couldn't really find her too far away from Izuku. She would always be hovering around him like a lost mother hen, or like a lost duckling, or a puppy. Sure, they worked together, but Izuku had never really shown much interest in her. They all knew that Izuku didn't show much interest in anybody. He was always fixed on one thing, finding Izumi. Finding his sister at whatever cost, including his own happiness. Everybody kind of leans in together, talking. And then they just leave to the location where they know the ghouls are at, an old abandoned, well, temple of sorts, one that the feudal era of Japan used for worshipping deities. But this one was around about worshipping the kitsunes, the foxes, for their trickster nature. A fox temple? You gotta be kidding me. What are we going to find next? An actual fox spirit? One of their squad members would say as she was loading a rifle. A giggle would emanate from somewhere. How persistent, a fox would say as she would walk out of the underbrush, her long white hair and fox ears indicating her, well, mannerisms. A bottle of sake and a pipe in one hand, her 9 flowing white tails swish hypnotically behind her as she sits on a pedestal of sorts. More like sitting on the railing, but it could be classed as a pedestal. As she puts her pipe in her mouth and blows out a bit of smoke. How fascinating. A whole squad of supernatural hunters. I feel incredibly honoured. As she takes a swig of her own sake from her bottle. Want a bit? She offers. All of them shake their heads, knowing of the tricks to the nature of a kitsune. Ah, damn. And here I could find a good mate. Too bad all I found was those bloody ghouls. Although it wasn't too hard to deal with them, so I don't see why you came here. Should say, should take another drink. The ghouls are already dead? Yep, and so are the vampires. None of them could truly satisfy me. I should breathe in another puff of smoke, and breathe it out again, in a sigh. And they say they are the superior race. More like they are the dumbest race. Oh well. Perhaps one of you humans could do. I should walk up to the human hunters, all of them raising their weapons. Relax, I may be a trickster, but I'm not a trickster when it comes to love. She basically hypnotically sways her hips. If anybody could resist her properly, it was Izuku, as his fingers were twitching and one hand had already gone into the mechanism to fire his gun. The kitsune swiped her fingers. Izuku hissed as he had to pull his hand out of the trigger guard, as he has now got a very good cut going across his finger. The kitsune would say, "Naughty boy." She would examine all of the men, and the women too, as they were clearly enraptured. She had to actually cast a spell to keep their minds calm and open to conversation. Because this kitsune was literally a pacifist. Sure, she loves to play pranks on people, but that's her nature. And as the kitsune continues going around all these people, she then gropes the ass of one of the female members. She squeaks in surprise. The kitsune then goes to another one of the men, thinks and tucks to herself. She looks to Izuku, who only looks like he's about to grab something to throw it at her. She sighs. She pulls her pipe out of her hand, or out of her mouth again, and lets loose a bit of smoke. As she then slowly lifts her hand and gently caresses the armoured faceplate of one of the girls, before she then took her hand and slowly walked into a portal that she had made. Izuku grabs something and throws it at the kitsune, only for her tail to swat it out of the sky. The kitsune and Luna, which turned out to be the girl that she had taken because she took off the helmet, pretty much had gotten to the floor in the portal as it shuts. Izuku curses loudly, then bashes all of his comrades in the head, causing all of them to shake out of it. Ow! 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 Oh! Did you have to hit us that hard? All of your minds were completely open to that fox. Ugh. Where's Luna? Who do you think took her? You did nothing? I tried, multiple times. Got my ass kicked. Damn it, one of them say. Looks like she's going to be converted into a kitsune. She better not be, Izuku would say, as he'd bandage up his own finger, before getting a shotgun again and cocking it, and letting out a noise as an IRL slug would come out. He'd grab it and put it in a belt pocket that was free. Let's try and find a way to get through a portal and get Luna back. You got it, boss. After a good 4 hours of trying, the portal would open and Luna would come stumbling out, completely dazed, confused, with a kind of perverted smile as she falls backwards, giddy as all hell, her cheeks flushed as if she had been drinking. Of course, Izuku would be the first one to get over to her. He would kneel down, check her pulse, as he would roll his eyes behind his helmet. As he would look to his squad, "It's all right, guys. She's drunk." As he'd hear a giggle come from the portal, as the kitsune would walk out, her hair all dishevelled, and she had a crimson blush too. Even her kimono was a bit skewiffy. As all of them now aimed their rifles and pistols at the woman, and she just raises her hands, nothing in them. "Relax, peace, peace. I know I'm gorgeous now, but I'm a little bit full." Everybody narrows their eyes, apart from Luna, who's still giggling and speaking incoherent mumbles as she is, well, smashed off her ass. The kitsune giggles and says she was rather fun. Of course, she doesn't have a cock and balls like you guys, but she was fun. She definitely gave me a run for my money. The kitsune licks her lips before walking back into the portal and disappearing into thin air. All of them lower their weapons. All of them, apart from Luna, saying "fucking kitsunes." And after they get back and report, even their commanding officers facepalm and say bloody kitsunes and their trickster ways. Of course, Izuku picks Luna up, throws her over his shoulders, strips her out of her armor before he does anything else, and takes her with him. Everybody knowing that Luna pretty much lives near Izuku anyway, just because she wants to be near him. And when Izuku walks into his hotel, or his apartment, He puts her in his own bed, gives her some water in a bottle, puts a bucket near her just in case she can't make it to the bathroom to throw up, and goes to the couch and sleeps. His parents' flashback happens when they spoke to him. Flashback. 2 days ago. Both Inko and Hisashi are floating and sitting down. Izuku sits down on the bed. You can't be too harsh on yourself, Izuku. How can I not be harsh on myself? Mother, I can't get close to people. You can, son. How would you know, Dad? It's easy. Don't be afraid. How? How can I not be afraid? Werewolves took you away from me. The werewolves took us away, yes, but it doesn't mean you need to be afraid of relationships. I cannot be in a relationship, for fuck's sakes. The werewolves would just take it away from me. Have you thought about what the hunters have done to werewolves? Hunters have taken werewolf lives. But Dad, no ifs, no buts, Izuku. Izuku, your heart is as cold as ice. You need to let someone warm it. Or otherwise you'll just be nothing but a cold-hearted murderer. You need to have something to fight for, to protect. I do have something to fight for. I'd fight to get Izumi back. Izuku, you can't get her back. If you don't know where she is. I will find out where she is, Mother. I will save her. I will get her back. And what happens when you can't get her back? What happens? You find her and she turns out to be a werewolf. She won't be. She can't be. I know my sister too well. Do you? It's been 10 years since you've seen her. She could have been bitten by now and she could have already turned into a werewolf. Hell, you never know, she could be happy as a werewolf. I refuse to let my sister become something I know she isn't. Izuku, you're not paying attention. People change. People make their own decisions. Izumi could have made her own decision. She could have chosen to become something you hate the most. Because it makes her feel happy. Then I'll show her. Being human is the only thing she should be. The only thing she can be for a healthy life. Izuku, it may not be your choice. She may have already made her choice and made peace with it. Hell, she may think you're dead, and the only place to keep her sane is with werewolves. Never, never, Mother. I refuse to believe you. We can't change your mind, Izuku, but we can't let you keep thinking that Izumi has not done something yet. Izuku, she could literally be a werewolf right now, causing harm. Will you try to convince her to become human again? Once you're bitten by a werewolf, there's no going back. Precisely. She's most probably already been bitten, already turned. Hell, she could have already offered herself to a werewolf. And we all know they lose their clothes when they transform. Hell, Izumi could have stripped naked and got on her knees and basically opened her arms, saying to a werewolf to please bite her and make her feel special. Some women just want power. Some women just want to feel loved. And once you've been around werewolves all your life, you feel as if you're part of them. You just don't have the ability to change into them yet. I refuse to believe my sister has become a werewolf. There's no way in hell. No way No way. There's no way. I thoroughly do not believe that she will easily let herself be turned. That's all we can tell you, afraid, Zuko, Inko would say softly. But there's another thing. Luna. You really hurt her. I know I did. But this brings me back to my point. I refuse to get close to people. Because the werewolves should just take it away. What happened to us was not your fault. We do not blame you. Hell, Izumi might not even blame you either. You were 6 years old. If I was stronger, if I was faster, would it have made a difference? A werewolf fights on instinct. It knows its opponent's moves before it most probably even makes it. Zuko, you are only 6. Your power that we know you have might not have been able to even do anything. Izuku, we know that you found out Toshinori Yagi was your biological father. And admittedly, we had seen you kick him in the nuts. Which, 10 out of 10, I do not recommend doing ever again. Especially to the number 1 hero. Especially when he knew who you were. Izuku, he knew you were a hunter. He was just going to ask if you were okay. Anyway, Izuku, apologize to her, okay? Apologize. Tell her that you're sorry for what you said. And if she rejects you, at least she knows that you have apologized. Both of his parents slowly fade into nothingness, going back into the image of his parents in the picture. Flashback end. Izuku would wake up late at night and walk into his bedroom to see Luna pretty much hurling up into the bucket. As she has blurry vision, finishes throwing up. She stumbles a bit when she stands, but she, stumbles and walks over to Izuku. Hey, I need... She stumbles and almost spills the bucket of sick, when Izuku quickly grabs her and helps her to the bathroom. He pretty much pours the puke into the toilet, flushes it, and starts cleaning out the bucket, all while Luna is stumbling around. You look beautiful, she'd say, as she's still heavily drunk, somehow. That must be one very powerful sake, if it's making her so drunk, even now. Let's make together, huh? She stumbles out of her, or tries to get out of her clothes. Izuku could see that she's getting naked, clearly so heavily drunk she can't even get out of her panties properly. For goodness sake, Luna. Izuku walks up to her and bonks her on the head. It usually knocks her out in one go, because he hits her hard enough. But all it did was make her giggle. Oh, so rough. She works on her bra and fumbles with it. Screw it. She then rips it off. As it was old anyway, so she just tears it off. She then tears off her panties too, as she throws her arms around Izuku. Let's make babies together. She'd slur her words, but clearly, Izuku could clearly say, or hear her saying, let's make babies together. As she laughing and giggling. Izuku basically pushes her mouth away because it's covered in sick. How about you get some sleep? You're heavily drunk. No, no. I was fine and baby together. No, you're not fine. You're heavily drunk. Oh. As she looks down and whimpers, Izuku looks down and realizes she had just literally did the number 1 and number 2 together. Suddenly, she'd say, giggling. Izuku sighs, something he's going to have to clean up. So he drags her into the bathroom and literally has to clean her butt. All while she's giggling and saying, oh, do me like this more often. But obviously she's slurring her words because she's heavily drunk. And after Izuku had finished cleaning her backside, wiping it clean, he wonders if this is what his mother had to do when he and Izumi were young, and just toddlers still. He then picks her up, and she'd finally fallen asleep. He put her back in his bed with a towel underneath her, just in case she pissed/shat herself during the night, and clean up the smell of piss and shit right in front of the couch. Once he got the smell freshened up, he got to sleep himself. And outside his window, there would be a figure, her arms folded underneath her bust, as she just smiles and jumps over the side, her shadow covered by darkness. But the only thing that gave her away was her glowing green eyes. Izuku ended up going back to school the very next day. One of his comrades watching over Luna, as she should have been going to school herself. But she never does. And it's just another one of those days. Bakugo being Bakugo. Izuku was just getting very annoyed. He didn't even put anything down for his career aptitude test, which her teacher kind of asked why he didn't put anything down. Izuku just said, because I don't want to. I already have a job in mind, but I'm not saying what it is. Izuku just looks at him coldly and gets back to work. Lunchtime, he gets a call. His fellow comrade said that Luna had just woken up from her nap, and she's stumbling over her words, feeling like she's been a complete fool. She can't stop crying. She says she just wants to disappear. Basically, regret had just settled in on Luna, and now she's feeling the aftermath of alcohol. Especially when it's kitsune alcohol, it's always like 20 times more potent than anything else, and just a single drop can seem to make you tipsy. Izuku has to make another trip to that temple and find out from that kitsune how strong kitsune alcohol is. Because it only seemed that the kitsune herself was a little bit flushed, not the crimson red Luna was when she walked out. So he just tells his comrade to keep him posted on what Luna does, and prevent her from doing anything stupid while he's gone. After that, Izuku just heads off. He has to make sure that certain people don't do anything stupid. He reaches a place and knocks on the door twice, giving a code phrase of Knight's Sacrifice. The door opens. Izuku quickly walks in, and the door closes again. Were you followed? A male voice would say. No. Keeping an eye out just in case. Good. There's a brothel house. Right here. Werewolves operate it. Thought so. I already met one werewolf in an alleyway right here. After helping her defend a young girl from getting mugged. And possibly, the letter R too. Damn it. Yeah. It's gonna have to be a roundabout in this area. She said down the road, where she was pointing, it was down the alleyway. But the werewolves could have moved positions by now. Where do you think they would have gone? Somewhere far away from there. Fair enough. Alright. Keep us posted on anything else. Will do, Command. Zuko would walk out the door, quickly close it again. The commander would make sure the door was thoroughly locked, with several more bolts in place. Zuko would walk pretty much back to his apartment, see that Luna was still crying. Not commander, but one of his companions from his squad, pretty much scratching his head as if he literally has no idea what to do. What's up? Zuko would say as he walks through the door. His companion would walk up to him. Dude, she's so badly depressed. What the hell did you say to her a few days ago? She can't stop talking about how mean you were to her. I just told her that I don't see her as anything other than my captain. She got into this whole spiel about how she had basically shown me everything of herself. And basically I just stared at her coldly. Dude, just give her a chance. You know I can't do that. Dude, do it. You're breaking her heart. Just take her out on a date. You might realize how good she is. Like you've ever been on one. I have, thank you very much. Now go on. Promise to take her out on a date. You never know, she might just surprise you how happy she'll be. His companion opens the door and silently shuts it from behind. Izuku sighs and walks up to Luna and sits in front of her and takes her hand in his. She looks up at him. I'm taking you out on a date tonight. Her eyes were stunned. And that is where I'm ending it, people. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.